We are live now, sir.
Hari Om. Namaste to all. Prostrating at the lotus feet of Brahmanishta Shrotriya Sadguru Swami Virajeshwara Saraswati. On behalf of all of us and to the entire Guru Parampara, today's discourse on Viveka Chudamani will continue. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Shri Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara. Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashtakruto Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmiham Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya Hari Om. Last time we had stopped at the shloka number 319, and today from 320 verse number 320 onwards the discourse will continue. Here and there I'll be reminding, though all of us we know that this entire discourse is mainly based on the commentary Ashyam given by Mahaswami Sri Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswami of Sringeri. Now, in the couple of shlokas, now the Acharya is telling his disciple about how Pramada is the greatest enemy and the obstacle in the path of realization or in the spiritual sadhana path. So, repeatedly he is using the word Pramada, Sanskritam word. Even in the next few set of shlokas, the same point he is hammering again and again, that how the Pramada leads to downfall spiritually. ಇಂದಿನ ಕೆಲವು ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಈಗ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಲವು ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಪ್ರಮಾದ ಅನ್ನುವ ಆ ಒಂದು ಅದರ ವ್ಯಾಖ್ಯಾನವನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದನ್ನೇ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಮಾದದಿಂದ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ವಿಸ್ಮೃತಿ ಉಂಟಾಗಿ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ಜ್ಞಾನವೇ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗದ ಹಾಗೆ ಮಾಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಸಂಸಾರ ಚಕ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಳುಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೇವೆ. ಪ್ರಮಾದ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಸಾಧನೆಗೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಶತ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟು. ಸೊ ಪ್ರಮಾದ, again let me remind that it means that basically, the negligence, inadvertence. Negligence of what? Forgetting my own reality. Swarupa Vismruti, as it is called. Swarupa Vismruti. Forgetting my own real nature. My own real nature is, I am not the body-mind complex. My real nature, I am not this anatma vastu at all, this perishable vastu at all. I am that Atma Swarupa, imperishable, indestructible, unexplainable, absolute, the absolute principle. There is only one. I am that absolute. I am that Atma Swarupa. I am that Parabrahma Swarupa. This is the reality. So, forgetting that means living in this illusory world, thinking that I am so and so, I am the body. ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ವಿಸ್ಮೃತಿಯಿಂದ, ನಿಜ ಸ್ವರೂಪದ ವಿಸ್ಮೃತಿಯಿಂದ, ನಾನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂತಹ ದೇಹ ಶರೀರ ಅಂತ ಶರೀರಾಭಿಮಾನದಿಂದ ಈ ಮಾಯೆನಲ್ಲೇ ನಾವು ಮುಳುಗ್ತಾ ಜನನ ಮರಣ ಚಕ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒದ್ದಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಪ್ರಮಾದ. We have to remember. So last time he said, Acharya told his disciple, Samahitah san bahirantaram va kalam nayetha sati karma bandhe. So he says that, see, always, always forgetting and then removing the illusory concepts of Vishaya Chintana and Vishaya Vasana and objects, sensory objects, which is perceived by your senses. Always meditate on the reality, your true nature. Always be at it and spend your time on this earth as long as the body is alive till the end of the prarabdha. Just live, just live, without forgetting even for a second your real nature. Always meditate on that reality. That's what he meant last. Now he continues again on pramada. Pramado brahma nishtayam na kartavyah kadachana. Pramado mrutyurityaha bhagavan brahmanas sutah. Pramado brahma nishtayam na kartavyah kadachana. Pramado mrutyurityaha bhagavan brahmanas sutah. ಆಚಾರ್ಯರಲ್ಲಿ ಮಹಾಭಾರತದ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ ಸುತಃ ಅಂತ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? ಪ್ರಮಾದೋ ಮೃತ್ಯು ಇತಿ ಆಹ ಭಗವಾನ್ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ ಸುತ. ಭಗವಾನ್ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ ಸುತ ಆಹ. ಭಗವಂತನಾದ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ ಸುತ ಹೇಳಿದರು. ಯಾರು ಈ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ ಸುತ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಮಹಾಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ ಯುದ್ಧದ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಯುದ್ಧ ಅನಿವಾರ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಆದಾಗ ಕೊನೆಯ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನ ಮಾನಸ ಪುತ್ರರಲ್ಲಿ ಸನಾತನ ಇತ್ಯಾದಿ ಸನತ್ ಕುಮಾರ ಇತ್ಯಾದಿ ಮಾನಸ ಪುತ್ರರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬರಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸನತ್ಸುಜಾತ ಧೃತರಾಷ್ಟ್ರನ ಬಳಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ಉಪದೇಶ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಧರ್ಮದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಉಪದೇಶ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಎಂತಹ ಮೋಹದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿದ್ದಿದ್ದೀಯಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಧೃತರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ, ನಿನ್ನ ಮಗ ಯುದ್ಧಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಂತಿದ್ದಾನಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ಕೌರವ ವಿನಾಶ ಆಗತ್ತಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಯುದ್ಧದಿಂದ. ಈ ಮಹಾನಾಶ ತಪ್ಪಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪಾಂಡವರು ಹೇಳಿದ ಹಾಗೆ, ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಂಧಿಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಹೇಳಿದ ಹಾಗೆ ಒಂದು 5 ಗ್ರಾಮಗಳನ್ನ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರಾಮವನ್ನು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಯುದ್ಧವನ್ನು ತಪ್ಪಿಸ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ. ನೀನು ತಿಳಿದವನು, ನೀನು ಜ್ಞಾನಿ, ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ವೇದ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀಯಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಧೃತರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೀತಿಯ ಉಪದೇಶ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ಉಪದೇಶ ಕೊಡೋ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಸನತ್ಸುಜಾತರು ಧೃತರಾಷ್ಟ್ರನಿಗೆ? ಇದು ಮಹಾಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರಸಂಗ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು, ಪ್ರಮಾದ ಮೃತ್ಯು ಇತಿ ಆಹ. ಪ್ರಮಾದವೇ ಮೃತ್ಯು ಅಂತ ಸನತ್ಸುಜಾತರು ಧೃತರಾಷ್ಟ್ರನಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದರು. ಈ ಪ್ರಸಂಗವನ್ನ 2ನೇ ಶರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ಪ್ರಮಾದೋ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನಿಷ್ಠಾಯಾಂ ನ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯ ಕದಾಚನ. ಪ್ರಮಾದೋ ಮೃತ್ಯುರಿತ್ಯಾಹ ಭಗವಾನ್ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣಸ್ತುತಃ. Acharya in the second line takes the example of Mahabharata, where before the final war, inevitable war breaks up, the Manasaputra, one of the Manasaputra of Srishtikarta Brahma, Sanatsujata, comes down to Dhritarashtra, the emperor, and tells him about the nature, supreme Vedantic knowledge he imparts. He advises him against going, against the war. Then, during the course of his advice to Dhritarashtra, he says, Sanatsujata says to Dhritarashtra that Pramadohi Mrutyuhu iti. The Pramada itself is a death. Look, Dhritarashtra, he says. That is in Mahabharata. Moola Mahabharata, Udyoga Parva. The dialogue between Sanatsujata and Dhritarashtra is separately known as, is a beautiful point in Mahabharata. Sanatsujatiya it is called. All the advice, basic Vedantic advice, the Advaitic advice given by Sanatsujata to Dhritarashtra. So Acharya takes that example. Pramada itself is a death. This is what Sanatsujata tells Dhritarashtra. What does it mean? Pramada itself is a death. That means this negligence, this inadvertence, this forgetfulness of the reality that you are not the body, you are the Atma Swarupa. So forgetting that the basic nature itself is a death. Means here Acharya means what he says, that if you forget your reality, what happens? Why he calls it as death, as told by Sanasujata to Dhritarashtra. That means very simple. Logically, you please come to the conclusion. The negligence, slipping from our reality, not thinking that really who I am, but subjecting myself with the ego in mind that I am the body, I am the body, I am the body. I have a status, I have an individuality, I have a name. If that idea is sets in, it is a death war. Why? Because with this nature of identifying with the body, Sharirabhimana, with the body-mind complex, I am the body and the mind. With this object of associating with the anatma, like body, and the mind, the buddhi, chitta, ahankara, etc. What happens? After death, again I am reborn. So I am caught up in the cycle of birth and death continuously, because I have forgotten my reality. So there is no salvation. There is no emancipation. As long as I have not realized my true nature, I am subjected to this cycle of birth and death continuously. In this flow, I am caught up in this flow of Maya, in this flow of delusion. This is the point Acharya is making very clear. So in the first line he says, Pramado Brahma Nishtayam na kartavyah kadachana. So look, my dear disciple, kadachana Brahma Nishtayam pramada na kartavyah. See, always remember, never with respect to Brahmanishta, you should be guilty of this negligence or this pramada or this wrong identification. Never ever be, forget your reality and then end up with the notion that I am the body. That is pramada. So if you end up with the notion that I am the body-mind complex, if you slip down from the reality, what happens? You are caught up in the cycle of birth and death. Look, my dear disciple, remember this. This is what he is talking. Pramado Brahma Nishtaya na kartavya kadachana. Pramado mrutyurityaha bhagavan brahmana sukha. So this is the straightforward advice Acharya is giving to his qualified Uttam Adhikari disciple, how to conduct himself. Always be dwelling, always be contented, always be with a Brahmanishtha, Atmanishtha bhava. Always develop that, always under the influence of that reality, you always remember that you are no more the body. Your body, your sense organs, your perceptible feelings, everything is being done by your motor organs of action. They are stimulated by the organs of perception. Everything is there. But you are beyond that. You be a pure witness. All the actions of your body, as long as the body is alive till the prarabdha ends and the body dies, be a witness. With the equanimous mode, with a serene, stilled mind, conduct yourself in this world of illusion, world of Maya called samsara. You are in the samsara. You are immersed in the samsara because as long as the body is alive, it is there, witnessing everything. But remember, always remember that though you are caught up in the Maya, you are only a witness, you are outside. So separate yourself, dissociate yourself from the surrounding Maya. Always contemplate that you are no more the body. things are happening. ಕೇವಲ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ಚೈತನ್ಯ ಸ್ವರೂಪನಾಗಿ, ಕೇವಲ ಸಾಕ್ಷೀಭೂತನಾಗಿ ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರವನ್ನ, ಈ ಮಾಯಾ ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರವನ್ನ, ಜಗತ್ತೊಳಗೆ ದೇಹ, ಈ ಶರೀರ ಇರೋ ತನಕ ಜೀವ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಶರೀರ ತ್ಯಾಗ ಆಗೋ ತನಕ ಶರೀರ ತನ್ನ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ತನ್ನ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಪೋಷಣೆಯಿಂದ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಆ ಭಾವದಿಂದ ಕೇವಲ ನಿಮಿತ್ತ ಮಾತ್ರನಾಗಿ ನಿನ್ನ ದೇಹದ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನ, ಶರೀರದ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನ ನೀನು ಸಾಕ್ಷೀಭೂತನಾಗಿ, ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇಲ್ಲದ ಹಾಗೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಸಂಘ ಇಲ್ಲದ ಹಾಗೆ, ಮಾನಸಿಕವಾಗಿ ದೂರ ಇದ್ದು ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ಚೈತನ್ಯನಾಗಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ ಇರೋ ತನಕ, ಆಯುಷ್ಯ ಇರೋ ತನಕ ನಿನ್ನ ಕಾಲವನ್ನು ಕಳೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಮುಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ನ ಪ್ರಮಾದಾತನರ್ಥೋನ್ಯೋ ಜ್ಞಾನಿನ ಸ್ವಸ್ವರೂಪತಃ ತಥೋ ಮೋಹಸ್ತಥೋ ಅಹಂಧಿ ತಥೋ ಬಂಧಸ್ತಥೋ ವ್ಯಥಾ. ನ ಪ್ರಮಾದಾತ್ ಅನರ್ಥೋ ಅನ್ಯೋ ಜ್ಞಾನಿನಃ ಸ್ವಸ್ವರೂಪತಃ ತಥೋ ಮೋಹಸ್ತಥೋ ಅಹಂಧಿ ತಥೋ ಬಂಧಸ್ತಥೋ ವ್ಯಥಾ. Now he is further explaining step by step how one wrong notion leads to another wrong notion and how the other one leads to further your bondage becoming tighter and tighter. ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ತಪ್ಪಿನಿಂದ, ಪ್ರಮಾದದಿಂದ, ಆ ತಪ್ಪು ಗ್ರಹಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ತಪ್ಪಿನ ಮೇಲೆ ತಪ್ಪು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಆಗ್ತಾ ನಾವು ಬಂಧನದಲ್ಲಿ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಕೊಳ್ತೇವೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾವುದು? ನ ಪ್ರಮಾದಾತ್ ಅನರ್ಥೋ ಅನ್ಯಃ ಜ್ಞಾನಿನ ಸ್ವಸ್ವರೂಪತಃ. ಲುಕ್ ಮೈ ಡಿಯರ್ ಡಿಸೈಪಲ್, ಜ್ಞಾನಿಯಾದವನಿಗೆ ತನ್ನ ಸ್ವರೂಪ, ನಿಜ ಸ್ವರೂಪದ ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕೆ ತಪ್ಪೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ, ತನ್ನ ನಿಜ ಸ್ವರೂಪದ ಅರಿವಿನಿಂದ ಜಾರಿ ಬೀಳೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಅನರ್ಥ, ಕೇಡು ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವುದೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತನ್ನ ನಿಜ ಸ್ವರೂಪದ ವಿಸ್ಮರಣೆ ಉಂಟಾದರೆ, ಮರೆವು ಉಂಟಾದರೆ, ತನ್ನ ಸ್ವರೂಪದ ಮರೆವು ಉಂಟಾದಾಗ ಜ್ಞಾನಿಗೆ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕೇಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದರಿಂದ? ಸ್ವರೂಪದಿಂದ ಜಾರಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಜ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನ ಮರೆತರೆ, ನಿಜ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಿಂದ ಜಾರಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ಮೋಹ. ಮೋಹ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನವರು ನನ್ನವರು ಅನ್ನೋದು, ಆ ಒಂದು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಆಸೆ, ಮೋಹ. ಆ ಮೋಹದಿಂದ ಅಹಂಕಾರ ವೃದ್ಧಿ. ನಾನು ನಾನು ನನಗಿದು ಬೇಕು, ನನಗದು ಬೇಕು, ಇವರು ನನ್ನವರು, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಮೋಹ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಅಹಂಕಾರ ವೃದ್ಧಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ಬಂಧನ ಇನ್ನೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ? ಸಂಸಾರಕ್ಕೆ. ಆ ಬಂಧನದಿಂದ ವ್ಯಥೆ. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಕೆಲಸಗಳು ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಆಸೆ ತೀರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ವ್ಯಥೆ, ಸಂಕಟ, ಯಾಕೆ? ಒಂದರಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಇದನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಇಸ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಯರ್? ಸೊ ನ ಪ್ರಮಾದಾತ್ ಅನರ್ಥೋ ಅನ್ಯಃ ಜ್ಞಾನಿನ ಸ್ವಸ್ವರೂಪತಃ ತಥೋ ಮೋಹ ತಥೋ ಅಹಂಧಿ ತಥೋ ಬಂಧಸ್ತಥೋ ವ್ಯಥಾ. One leads to other reasons. So for a jnani, Acharya says here, a learned one, it can be a learned one, a wise man, or a jnani, a knower. It can be anything. Acharya is using the word jnani. A lot of debatable points are there. I am not going into that. We will stick to what Acharya is telling. So for a jnani, a learned, wise person, a knower of the truth. See, there is no greater danger than forgetting his reality, forgetting his real nature by negligence, by pramada. So there is no greater danger for a jnani to forget his reality, his real nature, swaswarupa, because of pramada, because of negligence, because of inadvertence. There is no other greater danger for a jnana. So this forgetfulness of the reality, real nature itself is the greatest danger. You should be cautious of that. He is telling the disciple. Acharya is telling. ಜ್ಞಾನಿಗೆ ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕೇಡಿಲ್ಲ. ತನ್ನ ಸ್ವರೂಪದ ವಿಸ್ಮೃತಿ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಬೇರೆ ಪ್ರಮಾದ ಇನ್ಯಾವುದೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪ್ರಮಾದ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಫರ್ಗೆಟ್? ಇಫ್ ದ ಫರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ರಿಯಲ್ ನೇಚರ್, what happens? Then Acharya says. So that leads to moha, passion, desires, attachment. Moha, attachment, desire, passion to possess so many things, to have so many things. And that moha also means attachment to your own kith and kin, attachment to your own people. The moha also means attachment to your property, attachment to your wealth. See, the greatest moha is attachment to the wealth. All of us, we strive in life only to make more and more money. More and more money. More and more money. Why? Because we think worldwide, then also, now also, in the future also. Most of us, we think that plenty of money, superfluous money flow will end all our miseries. We can buy all the happiness, whatever available on the planet Earth, by money, wealth. So we're always happy with wealth. So attachment to the wealth, that is also more, greatest more. So the moha, attachment, possessive feeling, leads to what Acharya says, tato moha, tato ahamdi. Increase, swelling of your ego. Attachment leads to increase in your swelling of your ego factor. Yes, I want this, I want that. So I want to strive. I want more and more money. Let me work hard day and night, burn the midnight oil, forgetting everything. Why? Because I have to make more money. I have to keep money, save money for a rainy day. See, the human mind, worldwide, normal. When I am young, in the youth period, from the 20 plus to 55, 60, up to 60, 65 plus, I want to earn more. Why? So that in the fag end of my life, when I become 70 plus, 80 plus, money is required. Nobody will give me money at that time. Nobody will take. I can't work. So I have to have loads and loads of money now. So your ahankara also increases because of moha. And because of ahankara increase, your bondage also increases. Tato bandha. Then tato vyatha is. So your bondage, binding to the samsara, increases. The knots will increase. You are tightly bound because of your so much of aspirations. ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಸೆಗಳ ಪೂರೈಕೆಗೆ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಓಡ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಂಧನ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. So our mind, our senses, our buddhi, ego, everything is working outward. We are caught up in this life, caught up in this material world. We are outwardly thinking, outwardly observing, outwardly managing, and thinking, sensing, everything. All our energy is, directed towards outward life. There is no inward journey at all. No antarmukha at all. All the time we are bahirmukhas, looking outside. Looking outside. So that finally, all our aspirations will never come true in our life. So when we become 60 plus, 70 plus, 80 plus, whatever it is, and the illusion starts. So much crisis, so many things will not happen according to your will and wish. What you wished, something else will happen. Something else will happen in the family. You wanted your children to come up in a particular way. You wanted them to be educated in a particular way. According to your choice, you have provided all the money and all the facilities. Look, the children, they have gone astray. They have gone in their own way. They have left. They have their own ideas. They don't care for you at all. When you are 50 plus, 60 plus, just they don't neglect. They simply neglect. And what happens? The more they neglect, the more you start brooding over the past. Look what happened. How much affection, how much love, how much, I struggled hard for my children, and now they are not following what I wanted. So, vyatha. So, this misery, you end up in misery. You end up in suffering. So, tato mohas, tato ahamdi, tato bandhas, tato vyatha. Ultimately, so one leads to other. Attachment leads to increase in your outwardly passions, egoistic work, and then that increases in bondage, tight binding with the illusory world, tight binding with the pleasures, going out in seeking the pleasures, going out in seeking the more and more wealth accumulation, and finally ending up with suffering. So much of suffering due to so many things. Maybe there is no compatibility with the wife and husband, no compatibility between children and the parents, no compatibility between people and the friends and the relatives. So sometimes, in most of the cases, you become a lonely person. Nobody is there to ask. Nobody is there to help you. You are on the bed. When our Gurudev used to beautifully say all these things. See, as long as the strength is there, tensile strength is there in the muscles, you are so active. Once the tensile strength of the muscle, muscular activity goes down 70 plus, 80 plus, what happens? You get stuck to the bed. Slowly you are stuck to the home. You can't move. Go out anywhere as you used to do when you were 60 plus or 50 plus or 40 plus. You can't enjoy anymore your parties and going out, fun and weekend travel, moj, masti, everything. No more. You have lost all the temptation. Temptation is there, but you have lost the zest or the zeal to fulfill your ambition. So, Vyatha sets, suffer. Mind suffers silent at home. When you are on the bed, almost, especially 70 plus and 80 plus. All the time you'll be brooding in the mind. All that you wanted to still achieve, all that you have not achieved. So that leads to Vyatha, suffering, agony, restlessness, followed by all the diseases which creep one by one. They become part of your life. And finally, you'll be waiting for the D-Day called death. Again to be reborn again. And that is how the life goes. Acharya is giving that hint here. He is telling the disciple. And he continues the same point next book to make it very clear. Vishayabhimukam društva vidvamsamapi vismrutihi vikshepayati dhidoshe yosha jaramiva priyam. Vishayabhimukam društva vidvamsamapi vismrutihi vikshepayati dhidoshe yosha jaramiva priyam. Here he gives a small example and explains. Vidvamsam api vishayabhimakam društva vismrutihi vikshepayati. Yeshte atyanta uttama vidvamsanagiddaro, ವಿಷಯಗಳನ್ನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರು, ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರವೇತ್ತನಾಗಿದ್ದರೂ ಸಹ, ವೇದಾಂತವನ್ನ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತುಗಳನ್ನ ಅರ್ಧ ಕುಡಿದಿದ್ರೂ ಸಹ, ಎಂತಹ ವಿದ್ವಾಂಸನಾದರೂ ಸಹ ಆತ ವಿಷಯಗಳ ಕಡೆ ಆತನ ಮನಸ್ಸು ವಿಷಯ ಸುಖದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ವಿಷಯಗಳ ಕಡೆಗೆ ತಿರುಗಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ, ಸಂಸಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಆಸೆಗಳ ಪೂರೈಕೆ ಕಡೆ ಮನಸ್ಸು ತಿರುಗಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಈ ಪ್ರಮಾದ, ಇದೇ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪ್ರಮಾದ. ಈ ಪ್ರಮಾದ ಆತನನ್ನ ಘಾಸಿಗೊಳಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಕ್ಲೇಶಗೊಳಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ಸ್ತ್ರೀ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ತನ್ನ ಪುರುಷನನ್ನ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ತ್ರೀ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಏನು ಉದಾಹರಣೆ, ಜಾರಂ ಇವ ಪ್ರಿಯಂ ಯೋಷ, ಜಾರಂ ಇವ ಪ್ರಿಯಂ. ಯೋಷ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ವೇಶ್ಯೆ ಕೇವಲ ಹಣಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಒಬ್ಬನ ಜೊತೆ ತಾನು ಆತನನ್ನ ಪ್ರೀತಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಂತ ನಟನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಳು. ಹಾಗೆ ಅದು ನಿಜವಾದ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆ ರೀತಿ ಈ ವಿದ್ವಾಂಸನ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ವಿಷಯಗಳ ಸುಖಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ತಿರುಗಿದ್ರೆ, ವಿಷಯ ಸುಖ ಅನುಭವಿಸೋದ ಕಡೆ ಮನಸ್ಸು ತಿರುಗಿದ್ರೆ, ಮನಸ್ಸು ಹೊರಮುಖ ಆದರೆ, ಪ್ರಪಂಚದ ಕಡೆ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಆಸೆಗಳ ಪೂರೈಕೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಆತ ಎಂತಹ ವಿದ್ವಾಂಸನೇ ಆಗಲಿ, ಜ್ಞಾನಿಯೇ ಆಗಲಿ, ಆತ ಪ್ರಮಾದ, ಆತ ತನ್ನ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಿಂದ ಜಾರದಂತಹ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನು ಮರೆತಾಗ ಆ ಪ್ರಮಾದ ಆತನನ್ನು ವಿಕ್ಷೇಪಯತಿ, ಮಾಯೆ ಥರ ಆತನನ್ನು ಮರಳು ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಕ್ಲೇಶಗೊಳಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ವಿಕ್ಷೇಪಯತಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So what he says, Acharya here, even a wise person, a learned person, well versed in scriptures and shastras, a very wise person, very learned person, with all that, if he is more inclined to the sense objects, he is more inclined towards enjoying and experiencing and possessing outward sensuous pleasurable things, acquiring pleasurable objects in life. If his mind turns towards outer life, if his mind turns towards Vishaya Sukha, if he develops more desire to possess so many things in life, what happens? Vishayabhimukam drishtva vidvamsamapi vismrutihi vikshepayati. This vismruti means this pramada, forgetting his reality, that is Atma Swarupa, thinking that I am the body and I need this, I need that, I expect this, I expect that, I want this, I want that. So when the feelings start generating, that means you are identifying with the body. So forgetting your reality, your real nature, your Atma Swarupa, when you start, aspiring, expecting to have so many things, all pleasurable things in life, when you become outwardly inclined to sense objects, Vishayabhimukha, when you are inclined towards possessing the sense objects, pleasurable things in life, what happens? Even a learned one, his buddhi gets totally deluded by pramada, by this inadvertence, by this negligence. His buddhi is influenced by pramada. And then what happens? Totally he is stuck, and then he suffers ultimately. Just like a damsel, a prostitute, distracts her paramour, the person, for the money's sake. So for the time being, the fellow goes towards a damsel or a prostitute, think that she is loving it. He spends a lot of money, and finally he comes to know, he becomes dejected that she was only after money. There was no true love between her and him. This is the example Acharya is giving. So just like the damsel distracting the paramour and extracts money and ditches him later, and the fellow suffers. So any learned fellow also will suffer because of pramada, smruti, vibhran, vismruti of his reality. This is the point. So the more you are inclined outside, the pramada sets in, negligence sets in, you slip from your reality, and you become again part of the birth and death cycle, never-ending story. As our Gurudev used to always say, you are caught up in the cycle of birth and death. And again, next, another example, Acharya. Yatha apakrishtam shaivalam ksanamatram natishtati avrunoti tatha maya prajñam vapi paranmukham. Yatha apakrishtam shaivalam ksanamatram natishtati avrunoti tatha maya prajñam vapi paranmukham. Prajñam vapi paranmukham. So here, ಮುಂದಿನ ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಯಾವ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಮೊದಲು ಹಿಂದೆ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ವಿವೇಕ್ ಚೂಡಾಮಣಿ. ದೂರದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕೊಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಚಿ, ಹಸಿರು ಪಾಚಿ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ನೀರಿದೆ, ಮೇಲೆಲ್ಲ ಹಸಿರು ಪಾಚಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ. ಬಾಯಾರಿಕೆ ಆದಾಗ ನೀರು ಕುಡಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಪಾಚಿಯನ್ನ ಕೈಗಳಿಂದ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಸರಿಸಿದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರು ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ. ಪಾಚಿಯನ್ನ ಕೈಯಿಂದ ಸರಿಸಿದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರು ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ. ಕೈ ತೆಗೆದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪಾಚಿ ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಥಾಸ್ಥಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹಸಿರು ಬಣ್ಣದ ಪಾಚಿ ನೀವು ಕೈ ಹಾಕಿ ಸರಿಸಿದಾಗ ಸರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ, ಕೈ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಯಾವುದು? ಯಥಾ ಅಪಕೃಷ್ಟಂ ಶೈವಾಲಂ ಕ್ಷಣಮಾತ್ರಂ ನ ತಿಷ್ಠತಿ ಅವೃಣೋತಿ ತಥಾ ಮಾಯಾ ಪ್ರಾಜ್ಞಂ ವಾ ಅಪಿ ಪರಾನ್ಮುಖಂ. ಅದೇ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಹೊರಮುಖನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ, ಆತ್ಮನಿಷ್ಠೆಯಿಂದ ವಿಮುಖನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ, ಪ್ರಾಜ್ಞನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ವಿದ್ವಾಂಸ, ವಿವೇಕಿ, ಆತನನ್ನ ಈ ಕೈಯಿಂದ ಪಾಚಿಯನ್ನು ಸರಿಸಿ ಕೈ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪಾಚಿ ಕಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ, ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಯೆ ಆತನನ್ನ ಮುಚ್ಚಿಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತದೆ, ಆತನನ್ನ ಭ್ರಮೆಗೆ ಸಿಗಿಸುತ್ತದೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So here Acharya is again the same thing is repeating with other example. As the moss, the lichen, the algal material, bog moss, covering the pond as a green outer scum layer. So when you push the moss from your hands on the opposite side, the water is visible. The moment you take away your hand, again the moss will cover. The algal material will cover the entire surface. So the moment your hands you remove, it gets covered. So as the moss cleared by the hand in a pond, again covers immediately the water surface in the pond. So the Maya covers a learned one when he becomes outward, when his mind is outwardly bent and strays away, attracted towards sensuous objects, possession of sensuous things. So when he strays away, his mind is attracted outwardly towards Vishaya Sukha, Vishayabhilasha, possession of all sensuous things, sensuous objects. So Maya will bind him. Maya will actually avrunoti tatha Maya. Maya will cover him. That is the point. Maya will cover him. Here, you remember what Bhagavan Lord Krishna Paramatma tells in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, Karma Yoga. A beautiful Upadesha is there by the Lord to Arjuna. In fact, it is for all of us what he says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, Karma Yoga. He tells Arjuna, Avrutam jnanam etena jnanino nitya vairina kama rupena kaunteya dushporena analena cha. Avrutam jnanam etena jnanino nitya vairina kama rupena kaunteya dushporena analena cha. You know what he says to Arjuna? Krishna Bhagavan. Look, my dear Arjuna, Sakha, if jnanino nitya vairinaha, such a jnanametena avrutam kama rupena avrutam, that which is the eternal enemy of a jnani, a wise man, a wise person or a learned person. So the knowledge, the jnana is covered by this kama. Look, this kama, the desire, kama, vishaya, desire of so many things ultimately. Kama means everything, whatever, that the burning desire to possess, that is kama. So even the burning desire called kama, which is an eternal enemy of a jnani, Lord says, please remember this. Jnanino nityavairinaha avrutam jnanametena kamarupena kaunteya tushporena analena. So, the Lord says very clear cut terms, even this is an eternal enemy of a jnani, a wise man, a learned man, a knower of truth. Which is the eternal enemy? Nitya Vairina, this Kama. This Kama is a Nitya Vairi even for a jnani. Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita. So, this Kama, which is the enemy of the wise, which always keeps eternally burning, ever unsatisfied. So Lord is, Bhagavan, Krishna Paramatma is making it very clear. This enemy called Kama is burning eternally, unsatisfied. And this is the enemy for a jnani himself. This is the enemy of the wise. Then what about the common man? That is what he hints. What about the ajnanis like us? All the normal people in the world. We are all with a burning desire in the mind till death. So that burning desire is generally called Kama of various types. Kama is a single word, Sanskritam Shabda, Sanskritam word, which means everything. All the aspirations and desires come under the word Kama, including the lust, including the sensuous desires, attraction towards opposite sex. Everything comes under the word Kama. Kama is desire, burning desire, never satisfied, everlasting desire. And is Nitya Vairinaha for a jnani. It is the eternal enemy of a jnani. Bhagavan himself says, eternal enemy of jnani, he says. Why? Because, slight digression here. If you go back to the same third chapter, the previous shlokas to this shloka, what Lord says, see, remember in the third chapter, Karma Yoga, Arjuna, a pertinent question he asks. I'm not going into the details. I don't have a photographic memory, please pardon. Arjuna asks a very pertinent question to Lord Bhagavan, Krishna, Paramatma. Look, my dear Sakha, Krishna Paramatma, people know, this is a question of Arjuna, people know very well that they are committing mistakes. They are committing sins. They are committing evil deeds. They know that they are committing evil deeds, mistakes, deeds called very evil. Knowingly well they are committing. Knowingly well they are compelled to commit evil mistakes, evil deeds, one after another. Knowingly well. So what makes them to commit such evil mistakes or evil deeds? What makes them? What compels them? What compels a man to commit an evil mistake? Arjunana ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಸರ್ವಕಾಲಿಕವಾದ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ. ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, 3ನೇ ಅಧ್ಯಾಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋ ಪ್ರಸಂಗ ಇತ್ತು. ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಜುನ, ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಕೃಷ್ಣ, ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದು ಕೆಲವು ಪಾಪ ಕೃತ್ಯಗಳನ್ನ, ಪಾಪ ಕರ್ಮಗಳನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದು ಸಹ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಯಾವುದರಿಂದ ಪ್ರೇರಿತನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಬಾರದು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರು ಆತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ. ಅನಾದಿ ಕಾಲದಿಂದ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನಲ್ಲ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನ, ಪಾಪ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನ. ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ? ಯಾವ ಕಾರಣದಿಂದ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ? ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗೆ ಭಗವಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಉತ್ತರ. ಅರ್ಜುನ, ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಅರ್ಜುನ, ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದು ಯಾಕೆ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ? ಪಾಪ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನ, ಅಧರ್ಮದ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ಈ ರಜೋಗುಣದಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಕಾಮದಿಂದ ಮುಂದೆ ಉಂಟಾಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕ್ರೋಧ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೋಪ. ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತುನ ನೀವು ಪಡಿದೇ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಅಸಾಧ್ಯವಾದ ಕೋಪ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಸಿಟ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಕಿಚ್ಚು ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಉದ್ವೇಗ ಉಂಟಾಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ನನಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ದು ಸಿಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ತಳಮಳ ಉಂಟಾಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೋಪದಿಂದ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಇದೇ ಕಾರಣಪ್ಪ ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನಲ್ಲ, ಕಾಮ ಏಷ ಕ್ರೋಧ ಏಷ ರಜೋ ಗುಣ ಸಮುದ್ಭವ ಮಹಾಶನೋ ಮಹಾಪಾಪ್ಮ ವಿದ್ಯೇನಂ ಇಹ ವೈರಿಣಂ. Lord tells in Bhagavad Gita as an answer to the query to the Arjuna, why people commit evil deeds? What makes them to commit evil deeds? Then the Lord says, the reason is kama yesha krodha yesha rajo guna samudbhava mahashano mahapapma vidyenam iha vairinam. Look, my dear Sakha, Arjuna, the main enemy is the desire, passion, kama, and the wrath, subsequent anger, the wrath, krodha. When your desire is not fulfilled, you develop krodha, anger, wrath, sort of a restlessness, misery. All these come under wrath, kopa. So they are born out of rajoguna, and which is highly sinful and destructive. So they are the ones which are responsible for person to commit repeatedly the mistake, one after another, all evil deeds, one after another. So this kama is so powerful. Lord tells Arjuna that. Same thing here, what Acharya is mentioning, we have to remember, this is due to Maya, Acharya says. Because of the Maya is nothing but the interplay of three gunas, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, Sattva-guna. So the Rajoguna is so powerful, it makes you to become aggressive in all your actions. All your actions are controlled by Rajoguna. That is part of the Maya. So Maya will cover Prajñam vapi paranmukham. So even though you are a prajna, even though you are a learned person, even though you are a wise person, within no time you can be covered by the Maya, the illusory power, the potency of Ishvara himself, God himself. So when the Maya covers, with the help of the Rajoguna, it creates kama and krodha in the mind. And we become subjected to the slaves of our own desires. And our own desires, when unfulfilled, they lead to krodha, anger, wrath in our mind. So that is how the Maya plays. All of the time we are caught up in the Maya, Acharya says, ultimately. That is how things are happening in life. ಮಾಯೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಒಬ್ಬ ಪ್ರಾಜ್ಞನನ್ನ, ವಿದ್ವಾಂಸನನ್ನ, ತಿಳಿದವನನ್ನ ಅದು ಮುಚ್ಚಿಬಿಡುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದು ಮಾಯೆ ಕಾರಣ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಉದಾಹರಣೆ. He gives one more example. ಲಕ್ಷ್ಯಚ್ಯುತಂ ಚೇತ್ಯದಿ ಚಿತ್ತಮೀಶತ್ ಬಹಿರ್ಮುಖಂ ಸನ್ನಿಪತೇತ್ ತತಸ್ತತಃ ಪ್ರಮಾದತಃ ಪ್ರಚ್ಯುತ ಕೇಲಿ ಕಂದುಕಃ ಸೋಪಾನ ಪಂಕ್ತೌ ಪತಿತೋ ಯಥಾ ತಥಾ. It's a fairly long shloka. Next shloka, another example how pramada leads to swarupa vismruti. Lakshyachutam chedyade chittameshat bahirmukham sannipatet tatastatah pramadatah prachyuta keli kandukah sopana panktau patito yatha tatha. Sopana panktau patito yatha tatha. So in this shloka, ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಒಂದು ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಮೆಟ್ಲಿಂದ ನಾವು ಹತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದಾಗ ಕೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಆಟದ ಚೆಂಡು ಇದ್ರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈ ಜಾರಿ ಚೆಂಡು ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಮೆಟ್ಲ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಿದ್ದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಚೆಂಡು ಕೈ ಜಾರಿದಾಗ, ಕೈ ಜಾರಿದ ಚೆಂಡು ಮೇಲಿಂದ ಕೆಳಕ್ಕೆ ಮೆಟ್ಲಿಂದ ಮೆಟ್ಲ ಮೇಲೆ ಅದು ಹಾರ್ತಾ 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 ಉರುಳಿ 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 ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಬಿದ್ದು ಹೋಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಬಹಳ ಸುಂದರವಾದ, ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುವ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ. ಕೈ ಜಾರಿದ ಚೆಂಡು ಮೆಟ್ಟಲು ಮೇಲಿಂದ ಬಿದ್ದು ಬಿದ್ದು ಉರುಳಿ 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 ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಹೊರಟೋಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಕೊನೆಗೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಪರಮುಖ ಆದಾಗ, ವಿಷಯಾಭಿ ಸುಖದ ಕಡೆ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಓಡಿದಾಗ, ಸಂಸಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಷಯ ಸುಖದ ಕಡೆ ಮನಸ್ಸು ತಿರುಗಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಆತ್ಮ ಎಂಬ ಗುರಿಯನ್ನ ಮರೆತು, ಆತ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ನಾನು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಮರೆತು, ಆ ವಿಸ್ಮೃತಿಯಿಂದ ಅದೇ ಪ್ರಮಾದ. ಆ ಪ್ರಮಾದ ಉಂಟಾದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಆತ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನೇ ಮರೆತು ಬಿಟ್ರೆ, ಆ ಪ್ರಮಾದದಿಂದ ಚಿತ್ತ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಬಹಿರ್ಮುಖವಾಗಿ ಕೈಜಾರಿ ಬಿದ್ದ ಚೆಂಡು ಮೆಟ್ಟಲಿಂದ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಜಾರಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತದೆಯೋ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸು, ಈ ಚಿತ್ತ ಬಹಿರ್ಮುಖವಾಗಿ ಕೆಳಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿದ್ದು ಓಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ವಿಸ್ಮೃತಿ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪ್ರಮಾದ. ನಮ್ಮ ಆತ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪ ನಾನು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಮರೆತರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಂಸಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಅಧಪತನ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ನಮ್ದು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸಂಸಾರ ಬಂಧನದಲ್ಲೇ ಉಳಿತೇವೆ, ನಮಗೆ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಸೇಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್? ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ದಿ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಇಸ್ outwardly bent, again same when my mind is, though I am a very learned person, a wise person, jnani, if I am totally obsessed with outer life, material life, wealthy life, if I am attracted towards outer sensuous objects to possess so many things, then what happens? Just like this is due to the negligence. So by negligence, forgetting my real nature, I am Atma Swarupa, I am the body and mind complex. When my mind goes outside, instead of traveling inside to remain calm and still, what happens? This negligence of forgetting my reality, pramada, my real nature, it is just like the ball, the sport ball, a rubber ball, when it slips from the hand from the top of the stairs, the ball starts pulling down continuously. It starts falling from one step to one step, one step to one step, and then to the ground. So just like the ball falls down from the stairs, upstairs. So when I become outward, thinking about Vishaya Sukha, now I totally forget my own reality. I forget my real nature, and that is the pramada, that is the negligence, leads to me again bound to the samsara once for all. Once for all. So when the mind is outwardly attracted, however good, however knowledgeable, prajna, vidvamsa, shastraveta, scholar and jnani I may be, I will fall down spiritually, ethically, completely down in this line of samsara. I am caught up in the samsara again. Again, I will die and I am reborn. So there is no total freedom from this bondage. I am caught up. I will never come out of the bondage. I am caught up in this. So this is the example I gave again and again. Then the next sloka he continues. Vishayeshvavishyaschetah sankalpayati tadgunan samyak sankalpanat kamaha kamat vamsah pravartanam. Vishayeshu avischetah sankalpayati tadgunan samyak sankalpanat kamaha kamat vamsah pravartanam. Again, ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? ಹೇಳಿದ್ದನ್ನ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಮನದಟ್ಟಾಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ, ವಿಷಯ ವಸ್ತುಗಳಲ್ಲೇ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಪ್ರವೇಶ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಹೊರಮುಖನಾಗಿದ್ದೆ, ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ, ನೀನು ಯಾವತ್ತಿದ್ರೂ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅನುಸಂಧಾನ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಜಗತ್ನಲ್ಲೇ ಪ್ರವರ್ತನಾಗಿದ್ದರೆ, ನಿನ್ನ ಮನಸ್ಸು ವಿಷಯ ಸುಖದ ಹೊಂದಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಅಭಿಲಾಷೆಯಿಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಹಿರ್ಮುಖನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ, ನಿನ್ನ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಈ ವಿಷಯಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಓಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಅವುಗಳ ಗುಣಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೇ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಗುಣಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅವುಗಳನ್ನ ಹೊಂದಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಬಯಕೆ ಆಸೆ. ಆ ಬಯಕೆಗಳು ಆಸೆಗಳು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದಾಗ ನೀನು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತತ್ಫಲವಾಗಿ ಕರ್ಮಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ನೋಡಿ, ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಹೇಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಸೇ, So when the mind is attached to the sensuous objects, what happens? Always the mind, that is internally, you start thinking about those objects. Those objects. Always start thinking on that, how to possess. So the strong thinking leads to the desire to possess. I want that. Badly I want that. Badly I want that. So the desire leads to a particular action. Then you get up and then you start running helter-skelter to fulfill your desire, and you do a particular action at a time. It's a logical point, Acharya. When you start thinking about possessing something, your mind is completely occupied, all the time. Vishayeshu avishchetah sankalpayati tadgunan samyak sankalpanat. The more and more you think samyak sankalpanat, kamaha, desire will sprout. Kamat pumsaha pravartanam. The desires leads to your action. Desires lead to the action. This is a well-known analogy. If you look into your life, if I look into my life so far, all of us, how we have propelled ourselves for action, to possess something, to have something, all connected actions. The simplest example, our Gurudev used to say this. An ordinary middle class in India, a fairly poor person, who lives with a meager amount of salary, hand-to-mouth life, monthly, with a small family and children. There is a built-in subconscious desire in his mind to possess a four-wheeler, a car. That desire. So once in a way it comes in treats. Okay, fine. You forget about it. You are busy with your work, maintaining the family with a meager amount of salary. You know very well you can't buy a car. You don't have money. You don't have status. Okay. But again and again with the same feeling that I want to own a car. I want to have a car. Everyone is having a car. So my status will increase. Not only that, I can be free with the car. My family, I can take them anywhere I want. Outside the city where I'm living, town, I can take them to so many places. So when the desire continuously starts intermittently, then regularly coming to the mind, more and more, Vishayeshu avishchetah sankalpayati tatgunan samyak sankapanat kamaha kamat pumsaha pravartanam. Then what happens? Then ultimately what happens? The more and more, every time you think of a car, yes, let me have a car. Then you start working out. Actions. Now, how to arrange money? I don't have so much money, so many lakhs. How to get the money? Where to arrange the money? Where I can get a loan from bank? And how to repay the loan if I get a loan? And whatever, suppose I get 50% loan, 50% cash I have to. All paraphernalia. So one after another, actions will commence. The more you think of buying a car, samyak sankalpanat, the more you think buying a car, kamaha, desire will increase to possess. From that desire, kama pumsaha pravartanam, then you start running behind, making plans to generate money and then buy a car. See, one single desire sprouted in the mind. Imagine yourself. I'm not talking about the well-to-do people. I'm talking about a very ordinary middle-class person. Owning a car is a big dream for him in our country, in India. Even today, it's a big dream. And how much he will struggle to make arrangements for the money to buy a car. So that is the point. So the more we think outwardly to possess something, that thing that we become happy. We are in pursuit of happiness all the time, without knowing that happiness is only transitory. It is not permanent. Without knowing that the happiness is not a permanent feature. It is not a bliss, everlasting bliss. So we are running behind to fulfill our happiness. That's what Acharya says. And all your actions are generated to fulfill one desire. So imagine every now and then hundreds of desires are coming in our mind. So our life is full of struggle to fulfill our desires. So unknowingly, without our knowledge, we are caught up in this samsara. That means we are living, struggling to fulfill our desires, and one fine day we will die. Again, we are reborn. Again, the same cycle continues, the same story will continue till the next birth. Again, the death occurs, and the coming next birth, same story will repeat itself. So, our Gurudev always used to say, this is a never ending story, caught up in samsara. Never ending. Hari Om. So, with the Guru Sankalpa, we are stopping here today. Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Rama Hari Om Tat Sat.
Looking forward to the next edition of the Never Ending Stories, sir, next week. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.